law, states can now operate prisons. There are prisons, state governments, through their high court, send inmates to suspects to prison. They don't have their own prison. They drop them with the federal government and say, these are your citizens, take care of them. Now the federal government is saying the burden is so much. These are state offenses. Why don't you establish state correctional services, as it were? Some will say, okay, you've given the states prison, correctional services. Why don't you also give them state police?
There was this propaganda that was on during Jonathan, and they say somebody was building prisons while he was in power, and another one was building universities and institutions when he came into power. I'm sure you remember what I'm talking about.
And in the past, one politician told the outgoing politician, make sure you build that prison to international standard, because you spend a lot of time there.
Good.
Make sure you end up there.
So, Amechi, if we try as government to reduce criminality in society, we will not be talking much about how many prisons you have or how the prisoners survive. And moreover, in most countries of the world, prisoners are creators. They use that time they're in prison to concentrate in creating or one innovation or the other, and they become useful to the society, and they will create what they sell from the prison, and they feed themselves. Who says prison cannot generate money? Prisons can be made to generate fun. They can create furniture, they can create chemicals and whatever. So, state government need to buckle up, as Konje Wela will say, tighten up your belt. They are going on a ride. From May 29th is a new administration, and all the devolution of powers, including that of the Correctional Service Center, will be implemented. And the state government will know that it's not the federal government alone that should take care of prisoners.
Abulu, that particular amendment of the Constitution took effect on the day the President signed it. We will not have to wait for May 29. And I'm happy.
As soon as it's gazetted, you can operationalize.
I'm happy that you mentioned the state police and this. Perhaps the prison will be where to start for the states.
I pity those that will end up in. I just pity them. Just go to a state secretariat and see. Then Teve, you understand what I mean? Those that will end up in state prison, I pity
the
them.
lawyers that are attending the election petitions tribunal in Calabar say the place is overgrown with grasses. The decks, the table, everything is broken. They are saying, look, we can't do our cases in this kind of environment. That is, So I'm looking forward to actually what the states will eventually do. I'm not sure there is a transitional period in the implementation of that. But maybe the minister was trying to implement the law ahead of what it should be. You are saying, they are saying, okay, we can keep these people in custody, but then come and feed them. But what the law says is, look, states should have their own prison facilities. So we look forward to states building prison. I know that the Buhari administration is building is it maximum or medium security, high-tech prisons in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. So states will have to build their prison facilities so that, like you observe, persons that have offenses with state high court, magistrate court, that are sending them for remand and all of that. They will not send them to Kuje prison or send them to Suleja.
For example, the Jolly Nyame, would they have been in state prison?
No, if it's a federal
offense. Once you have taken
go
to a federal
prison, if it's a state offense and you were prosecuted by the state, the Attorney General of the state, you go to state prison.
So that's what we are looking at. So when the states build their prison facilities, we can now say, okay, you are qualified to have state police, so that when you police and arrest people, you can take them to court and you can remand them.
When we are struggling for minimum wage, the labor was saying that a prisoner is being fed by 30,000 naira monthly, and while the Nigerian worker still goes home with 18,000 naira.
No, with 2,800 naira times by 30 now.
That is over.
Any more than
the Nigerian worker. So the review of
on paper.
Until we do investigation, we know that it's on paper. So which shows that I make it clearly criminality continues. If the worker that is working is earning less than the money you to feed a prisoner, there's a big problem.
You're creating potential inmates because they will help themselves.
Obviously, these people you are mentioning, the billions and the millions and all of that, were they poor? Is it joblessness that led them to the crime?
Well,
they were already in position. They already have the money, but they are stealing.
You're quite correct. You said the Federal Executive Council will be meeting today.
Yes.
And are you certain that they will be approving contracts? You're speaking from position of
information. They
Yes.
said there are memos. That's what the special advisor Femi Adesina said. He said, "Look, there are memos that will be attended to, and
most of these memos are contracts.
Policies.
We have said, based on our laws, Nigeria is a very funny country. If you study Nigeria, I don't think there's no place you will understand. By our laws, Federal Executive Council is the highest policy making body. There are enough policies for them to consider. Policy on environment remediation, policy on employment, policy on that. But the Federal Executive Council will not have time to devote to policies.
Contract.
They have all the time in the world to approve contract illegally by the Public Procurement Act and Fiscal Responsibility Act. There's a body, a National Council of Procurement, that should to be set up, drawing membership from different stakeholders, including the media, Society of Engineers, civil society organization, professional accounting firms and all that, engineering and all that. But since that law was passed by the Obasanjo administration and inherited by Yar'Adua administration and Jonathan administration and Buhari administration, they have continued to perpetrate this illegality. If you stop Federal Executive Council from approving contracts, you may not see people lobby to become ministers.
So they go through the Bureau of Public Procurement. There is no council for that.
After the Bureau of Public Procurement have finished work vetting, they should push it to the council. But all these successive governments have refused to constitute this council because they know the benefits derivable from approving contracts.
I mentioned, like you said, is what it is.
I know what these benefits are. Do we need to name it?
No.
So we hope that somebody will implement that. I know that I think President Buhari, when he was a candidate, also said he would inaugurate that particular council.
Yes.
But that
candidate which year? 2015 or 2019?
That never happened.
He was speaking outside government. When he came into government, they showed him the real thing.
Different. I know none of those who campaigned in 2023 spoke about setting up that council as it were, but clearly that should be the way to go. And if that is the case, then the Executive Council of the Federation will not. We always call it.
Yes, the executive. That's another legality. We erroneously call it Federal Executive Council. When it should, what is on our books is
in the Constitution,
Executive
Council of the Federation.
So by the time that is done, they may not even need to meet weekly, because by the time you meet every week, you don't even give people enough time to go and implement those things. The next thing is they are sitting and waiting. They have become a country of meetings and committees and all of. Even if it's bi-weekly or bi-monthly or once a month, give people time to go and
as much as there are contracts.
That's why they have to meet weekly.
If there are contracts, they will be eager to meet daily.
Like the contract that which Tebe will bring us up to speed, the 1.2 billion for the evacuation of Nigerian students. We heard that the evacuation is suspended. Tebe.
Yes, the airlift operation has been suspended by the Nigerian government. According to them, every person that had registered to return home had been airlifted. But we have a good number of Nigerians, I think about 136 or 46, who are still in Port Sudan that want to come back. But the Nigerian government is saying until they produce evidence that they are Nigerians and all of that. But I mentioned, if you visit most of these countries, especially African countries, you know what it is. A number of them have either expired passports
they should learn that you need to update your documents, but we must not abandon
Nigeria. Yes, whatever it is, an appeal to the Nigerian